If you're not using micro interaction and subtle animation inside your web apps, you are missing out. Today we are going to integrate motion with Nuxt. We are going to create 3 components. One is going to be a component that automatically wraps whatever element you want and is going to smoothly animate between the different heights. Another one is going to be a very cool button that you can use for your async task and is going to adjust based on the status of the task. Finally, we are going to have an animated component that is going again to wrap whatever element you want. You can use this in landing pages to smoothly animate in elements and stagger the children's. So with these 3 components, you can just start introducing micro interaction and subtle animation inside your apps so you can keep your users engaged and make them love your product. Let's go. So as always, we are going to start from the template that you can find in the description. I made some modifications. So instead of having different branches for the tutorials, I'm going to basically include all the code inside the main. You're gonna have inside the pages. So in this way, you're going to have a template which has all the functionalities. So we want to integrate Motion Framer with Vue. You're going to have the documentation linked in the description, but if you go to the Motion Dev, to the Vue, you have this Vue integration, which is fairly new. So we're gonna start by installing Motion Framer. So we're just gonna do one install. Okay, then we need also to include motion into our modules. Okay, now we're ready to go and we're going to start building our first components, which is going to be a component to animate height of every component. So whenever you have a page, you want to basically add elements or change the height of the element, the layout shift on the pages are going to be extremely smooth. So let's start by creating the first component called animated height, import motion. And then we're going to define some props and basically we are going to define whether it is initially open and the duration of the animation so we can change it from outside the script. We need 2 template ref for the elements. One is going to be our content and one is going to be the inner, which is the one that is going to basically change the height, and the content is going to smoothly animate and ease towards the height of the inner element. 2 more properties, one of which is the resize observer, of course, which is going to basically watch the inner element, and then the current content height. Then we're gonna have a function to update the height hook into the unmounted event to connect the resize observer. And then if we have our value of the inner element, we are just watching it and then updating the height right at the start. We must not forget to disconnect the observer on the unmounted event, so we keep everything clean. We can go into the HTML, create a motion div, put motion as a prefix, some refs. So this one is going to be the content, so it's going to be the content L. Then we have some classes, and then we want to specify the motion classes. So the first is the animate. So whenever we are animating, we want to basically set the height, okay? And then we want to set our transition, and then we're gonna use the type spring because it's cool. Of course, you can change the type of animation. You can use linear, ease out, whatever you want. In this case, I'm just gonna use spring because it's very cool in my opinion. A normal div inside the inner element, and then we give it some classes. For example, we're going to expand on the width, and then we're going to have a normal slot. We are basically done. Whenever the component gets mounted, we fire the resize observer, and whenever the inner content changes, we are basically already animating here. You see on the motion div where we are saying animate this height property with this type of transitions. So just like this, we are already done with it. Now we can go into our motion page, so basically our index for this tutorial, and just create this component. So we're gonna do animated height. We're gonna give it some classes so it's visible. Now inside here, we're gonna have a div. We're gonna have a boolean property which is going to define the height of this component. And even if this height is going to change instantaneously because we just toggling with this boolean, the container is going to animate smoothly, which is going to be extremely cool. Hit save and then run the server. Okay, now we have our component, but we do not have any control to actually toggle it. So we can just, for now, then we're gonna use our cool button, but for the moment, we can add a U button, create this function. So we're just toggling the activated status. Refresh because auto reloading is not working. And then if we click expand, we can see that the container smoothly animates the component. You can even see this by giving this some background. So if we expand the container, it's going to smoothly animate because the wrapping container is effectively clipping the Y. And if we collapse it, we can see that the amber container instantaneously collapsed down, but the wrapping container is animating smoothly. Very cool. You can do collapsible with this thing. You can do, for example, fact sections, or just if you want the page to adjust smoothly to height changes. For example, you have a landing page where you have elements that appear automatically. You can just use this component to basically adjust all the page, all the layout dynamically, and it's going to be very smooth. Now, this button here is fairly ugly, so what we're going to do now is create a very cool button that has a micro interaction in it. To do that, we just create a component called async button. Why we call async? Because we are going to create it to handle async task with our micro interaction. Whenever we click an async task, it's going to just load the task, wait for the task, and then adjusting the micro interaction based on the task status. First, import all our dependencies from MotionV. Define our variants. The variants are basically what each motion components must do depending on the status. So, for example, we are saying here, whenever it's hidden, this is the status. Whenever the components is shown, you animate to these target values. Defining our transition here, two properties which are going to define the status of our sync task. And we need some properties. I'm just going to paste this leading icon, which is going to be the icon when the button is not loading. Then we have this boolean awaiting, so in this way we can force from outside the status of the button. And then we have just some stuff coming from Nuxt UI. In this way, we can style our button using Nuxt UI. Our promise, which is passed as a prop, whenever we click it, it's going to run the promise and then automatically adjust based on the status. Hook into the onClick event. And then we have the onClick function like this. If we are awaiting or the button is disabled, we're just going to return. Otherwise, emit the click. And if there is no promise, just return. Otherwise, set the awaiting promise to true. And catch the promise. We see here we are using finally. You could also, like, for example, hook into the then and then the error event. In this way, you could change the icon of the button based on the status of the task. This is also something you can do. And finally, we can define the HTML, wrap everything inside a layout group. This is coming from MotionV. You can check the documentation, but it's basically just saying that whatever is inside here is going to adjust based on the motion components. Then we have our motion div, which is going to be the wrapper of the button. We need to define this keyword layout because we are inside a layout group, and it's going to be the transition of the layout because we're going to have different transitions for the layout and for the icon. Our U button, we're going to hook into the onClick event. We want also to disable the button if we are awaiting any tasks. So either if we are forcing the awaiting from outside or we are waiting the task, we want to, of course, disable the button, the type, then we have the variant and the color, some classes, and then we have our template. And this one is going to handle the icon, wrap an icon component with a motion div. So let me just copy and paste this code right here, give it a unique key. When we are inside the layout group, we need to give key to different components, give it the variants with initial and animate variants name, the transitions, and then we just display this loading icon. And if we see here, we are rendering this only if we are somehow awaiting the task. Otherwise, if we are not awaiting the task, we can just put it here for the sake of readability. We render the normal icon. Everything is the same. We're just changing the icon to our leading icon. And then we can have our default template, which is handling the text. For example, if we want to put a label or whatever inside the button, we can render this into the default slot, and everything is going to adjust dynamically based on whether the icon is shown or the width of this slot inside here. So we can hit save, and now we have our button. We can go back into our index page and change this EU button to be our async button. Place the label inside here. And now we have our button, which is basically the same as before. Nothing is happening because we do not have any promise. So the button effectively works as a normal button. What we're going to do now is just take the expand function, make it async, some utility function called sleep. So we can just sleep, for example, for 1 second and await it. And then after that, we can toggle the activated status. You see that the collapse happens after 1 second, but we do not have any status here because this task has become async. And so to actually update the status of our button, instead of hooking into the onClick event, we need to hook into the promise prop that we created. So we're just gonna pass the expand function as a callback. And now if you click here, it's going to answer to the status update. You see here, I'm just gonna click, I'm disabled. We have this very cool micro interaction. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see whenever I click, we have interaction, in which the button width responds dynamically to the presence of the icon. You see here it expands and then go back. If I go here and give this a leading icon and set this, for example, to this expand icon right here, it's saved. Then we have our icon here, and whenever I click, the icon smoothly changes to be the other one, and then it comes back, you see here. And we can also change the styling of this button, so we can just give it, for example, an error color and a variant. It's say, go back here. I don't know why auto-load is not working, but hit reload. And then we have our button correctly styled up using Nuxt UI, and everything is perfect, also the icon. So the last component we are going to develop is basically a component that wraps any element. It's going to animate and the entering of elements into the viewport, and it's going also to have animation staggering. In this way you can animate children in a staggered way, so it's effectively the best way to animate stuff into our landing page. So to do that, we're just going to create a new component called animate enter. It's going to be fairly easy. So the first thing, we just want to import motion V, of course. Then we're gonna have some props, which are going to define from where we want to animate. So initially we are animating from the top. We are using the margin because if we use for example, the Y property, the position, like all the page is going to shift. Instead, using the margin, nothing is going to shift because it's just the content that is going to be animated towards a margin of 0. And then we have our variants as always. And we are crazy about types, so we can even give this a type because we like types. Okay. Nice. Now we need to define our motion div, so just make this a motion div. Then we're going to bind the variant, so initially it's going to be hidden. And then instead of animate property, we are going to use a while in view. Whenever it's the initial status, just render this. While we are in view, just animate this on the show. Then we're gonna define a property, a transition property, and it's going to be this one. We are going to have a duration of 0.6 seconds, and we of course using the spring because it's very cool. And then you see here we are delaying the children for a little bit and then staggering each one of them by 100 milliseconds. In this way we're going to have a staggered animation, which is extremely cool for landing pages. And then we're just going to actually expand on the width, so we are covering everything. And then inside here we can just give it the default slot. We can also give it some in-view options. So whenever we are using this while in view, we can have some in-view options. You see here in this option, we are going to set the ones to true. So whenever the element is animated, it's not going to be animated again. And then we are also using this amount set to 0.75. And this is effectively saying animate in the element whenever at least 75% of it is visible on the screen. So we can go here and bind the variants, go back to our motion page. And now we're gonna do little separator here. We are going to render a certain amount of cards, and then by scrolling they are going to animate in our animate enter elements. We're going to give some class a U card from Nuxt UI. I'm gonna set the variant so it's a little bit more visible, the header. We are going to render a motion component. If you want to render elements and allow them to be staggered inside this animate enter, you need to use motion components. Then we need to define these item variants, which is going to be the same for every item. And then we have our body. We're gonna have a div, a motion.p, so a paragraph motion, a motion div that is going to simulate some content. Give this some height so it's visible. And now we have our cards that are correctly animating. Whenever we scroll down, we can see that we have our card animating in. The child elements are animating with some staggering. You see here. We can also exaggerate the staggering to half a second. We can see that now children are being staggered a lot. And of course, this would be too much, but you can see that you can animate and use this component to very easily handle micro interaction in landing pages, and it's extremely cool. Now you have these 3 components that you can use wherever you want. As always, I'm going to update the repository. I just made some changes, so instead of having different branches, I'm going to have everything into the main branch, so you actually have a real template, and you can use this template for whatever project you want, also your SaaS that is going to make millions. Remember, you have a playlist of all the Nuxt tutorials, and yeah, so that's it for today's video, and cheers!